Hey, it's TR back again. I decided I really need to do a video with my thoughts on the Firefly. Tony Iommi Black Sabbath-ish guitar. Now that I've had it for a few days, the honeymoon's over. Nah, it's still a good guitar for the money, worth every penny of the $199.96 I spent. However, I spent some time with it, and I can tell you the shortcomings now. Okay, the neck. The neck's big. It's 50s-ish feeling, and it's very much like my 50s Les Paul necks right here. Problem is it doesn't really taper. It's still pretty big up here. So for around the area of the nut, it's by far the meatiest neck I've got. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. I've kind of enjoyed playing it. I like it. But, okay, there's that. These tuners, although they're Grover clones and they're pretty smooth and they seem to work good, I don't think they're going to last. If I detune really fast, like turn down, you can hear a clicking sound. I think the gears are slipping. I'll see if I can get it to do it. I'll try and get it near the microphone. See if you can hear it. Of course, it's not going to do it now, right? Oh, there you go. You heard it? Yeah, I heard that. So, anyhow, that tells me they're maybe not going to last. A couple of them have done that. I spent $30 and I have some Goto tuning machines coming for $30. I don't mind adding another $30. Still happy with the pickups. I like the way they sound. Still happy with the way the pots and switch are working. No issues there. The jack seems to be holding good. The bridge. It's a Nashville style with lots of travel, but it has the small holes, the 4.3 millimeter holes. So if you were to want to replace this, it would get just a little bit tricky. You really got to pay attention to you get the right one. The threads going into the inserts in the body, and the inserts in the body are smaller too. So Geiger does make a roller bridge that's this size. This works, okay. My concern would be how good are the threads on these bolts for the intonation, but how often am I going to be adjusting my intonation and they work? So I'm less worried. Reason for replacing the tuners is every time I play, I use those, okay? So I'm expecting them to wear out. So this, it's like, till it breaks, I'm not going to replace it. That Geiger roller bridge is only $15, and it has the locks with the Allen wrench to lock it to the posts. It is the exact size. It will fit here. The only concern with that is the height of the rollers might make string action adjustment an issue depending on neck angle. The person that put a review on the Amazon page said they had one of the Les Paul style Fireflies and it worked fine. Somebody else complained that it stuck up too high. I'd be concerned with this SG because as it is, I have these posts pretty low to get my action where I want it. But, you know, that's buying trouble. It works fine. It's just, you can tell looking at it, the quality of the metal and stuff. It's not up to snuff with the hardware you'd get on an Epiphone. So, tuners and bridge definitely, Epiphone, way better. Finish, the paint. Epiphone's probably a little better on the paint. This looks great. It's just, I don't even know how to put my finger on it. it just seems like this isn't quite as nice of a, but we're talking a significant difference in price between this and an Epiphone too. 200 versus like $500-600. So keep that in mind. I'm still very happy with it. I bought Epiphones I had to do fret jobs on. The frets are still perfect. They're stainless steel. They're slippery. Didn't do a thing to them. The bone nut, I did some work on the bone nut. Not that it wasn't cut good. It was cut good. It's just the slots were deep. So I removed some material from the top. And you know, when at first glance, I thought, they're telling me bone nut. And it's, I don't know, is that bone or not? After sanding and filing on it, and I will tell you the low E, I did drop it just a hair. It was okay where it was, but it wasn't where I wanted it. So I filed the slot on the low E just a little bit, and I took material off the top and buffed it, and it's very hard. It made a very fine dust, and when I buffed it, it got very shiny. To me, that's bone. And if it's not bone, well, then who cares? It doesn't need to be, because if it has those attributes, it's a good nut. Because okay, tone wood stuff again. The nut isn't going to affect the sound. It may affect the sound of an open string, but once you fret a string, the nut's out of the equation. Nut is there to be hard and slippery so that it, one, doesn't wear down and get a deeper groove, and two, doesn't bind on the string and make your tuning go wacky. That's what the job of the nut is, and that's why bone makes such a great nut, because it's very hard, and when polished, it's very slippery. Okay, down off the soapbox. So anyhow, after having it for a while, those are the things that I would tell you to keep in mind. Now, I didn't buy these to be a guitar that I would take out and gig, and I'm not doing that right at the moment anyways. So, but I bought them to be for in my music room here as like a toy. I got it for the way it looks. I've got another one on the way that I bought for the way it looks. I have over 50 guitars. I have plenty of them that play and are dependable and play good and are high quality. This was just strictly to indulge myself because I wanted it to look like this, and it makes me happy looking at it, and it is fun to play. I just wanted to update and say, yeah, it's worth $200, but if you're planning on wanting to play in a band and gig with a guitar on a budget, I'd say Epiphone is a good place to start, or Mexican Fender. Squire, you can make a Squire gig worthy. That's a tricky one, Epiphone versus Squire. Epiphone's a broad sweeping Epiphone. There are cheap Epiphones, there are expensive Epiphones. Fender's got that line between, well, there's another line now, but the line between the Squires made in Indonesia and China, and then the Fender Indonesia, and then the Mexican Fender, all of which would encompass the price points of Epiphones. So when I say an Epiphone that you can play in a band, gig with, and all that kind of stuff, I'm talking inspired by Gibson and up. So what wouldn't I consider about this for giggable? Definitely the tuners aren't dependable. I would worry about this bridge. And the other parts, they're working fine now, but longevity-wise, I don't know. They're non-branded, made in China parts, and they're doing the job at the moment, but, you know. So, anyways, that's my thoughts, and here's another video for you. I have more videos coming, so you guys stay tuned.